Beer bubbles. Go.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to Beer Bubbles, the number one bubbliest podcast in the world, and we're sure about that. A few weeks ago, I went home to Karlstad, very close by to my hometown Sunne, to rehearse with my band Deprive. This was 2 weeks before our show, which we had on December 17th, 2022. And we decided to record our podcast because Anders, the singer, and Algot, the bass player of my band, have a podcast called 280 BPM. We recorded this episode after a whole night of drinking and recording their episode, which means we were quite tipsy, quite happy, and enjoyed spending time together. So this episode will be completely raw, a bit brutal, but it's a lot of fun. And you know, we all know how the talk goes after a few cold ones. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. But if you want to support our podcast a little bit more, don't forget to check out our Patreon. And now, enjoy the episode. Hey guys, welcome back to Beer Bubbles, the number one bubbliest podcast in the world. We think, we don't know, who cares? We're here with 280 BPM podcast, the Swedish fastest fucking podcast there is, and there's also a drummer here.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, he just
tiny mustache.
I'm just happy to be here.
I'm only here for the beer.
Who the fuck are you?
My name is Ludwig. I play drums in Deprive, and I usually guest on 20 BPM when they need guests.
20 BPM.
280.
The Swedish slowest podcast.
280 BPM.
And the actual podcast I'm sitting here with.
That is me, Anders, and you.
Algoff,
Yes, and we are...
the fastest podcast in Sweden.
Yes, we are. We are metal podcast. We have been doing this since 2019, I think. We have well over 100
Almost
episodes out.
130 episodes right now.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And we are basically just trying to talk about metal. We are trying to talk about things that matter to us, and try to help unknown bands to get a little more
Attention.
Yeah, attention. That's kind of us, but we tend to do it in a very
Unorthodox?
how to say
Satirical way, maybe.
Yeah,
we are not that serious.
No, we are not that serious at all. But what we do is serious, but we are definitely not.
The art is serious, but the persons behind it are kinda not.
But to connect these two podcasts together, we have something in common.
Yes, we
well,
all
that is beer.
In common.
Yeah,
You have the
usually
drink of the day.
beer in 280 BPM.
Yeah, but you have the drink of the day or episode.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Not
we have
specifically beer. It's a drink per
Yeah,
episode.
but
Yeah,
it's
one-
mostly beer.
one drink per episode. Lately, it's been a shit ton of beer, actually. But I think that's because we're lazy, not because we don't want to drink anything else. But it's very, very easy since there are so many different kinds of beer. Well, we started out with like absinthe, and I don't know if we've had it, but we've talked about like holy water and stuff like that.
Yeah, yes, some unserious stuff.
Yeah,
but
we wanted to have a very broad drink of the day, but then
We made our own
after
mead.
like oh yes, we did our
Yeah.
own mead, and after 50 episodes or something, we kind of got lazy. I think we need to go back
yeah.
to the origin
But-
again.
but
Definitely.
the very thing that every metalhead has in common is the beer, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean it's not
That's
a
true.
bad choice.
No, it's not.
No.
It's perfect for the festivals.
Speaking of beers, should we go with the first one?
Yeah.
Already okay.
Yes, already.
I don't know how you do this in this podcast, but we usually just in the beginning present one drink for the episode. But here, I believe
we have several.
It's
Yeah.
a bit different. So everybody pull your thingy.
your thingy.
thingy. No, we just pour the beer and we keep on talking until we're ready to talk about the beer.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds good to me.
Yeah, it does.
Talking is kind of what I do.
But what else do we have in common?
Nothing.
Except
Nothing at
drinking
all.
beer.
Alcoholism.
us.
Well, it's like that. I'm gonna say call it out. Rasmus also is in the band.
Yes,
Yeah,
I am. I'm
He
in a
hasn't
band
admitted it
called
in this
Deprive, and I'm home for the weekend rehearsing, and we decided to record some
Oh my
podcasts.
God, this sounds.
So we've done a podcast before this in Swedish,
With
and we did
us.
5 beers, and we're already a bit tipsy. So I apologize for anything.
Don't apologize with me.
No,
See, you're
fuck you.
Swedish.
I don't care. Fuck off.
Beer Bubbles is a sober podcast.
Yeah, you can hear it in the name.
No, we can't say sober on this podcast because we get charged every time we do. So it's
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
So
No.
what are you? Grounded?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Woke.
So, oh Jesus Christ! So here you have from Roosters in the UK. They're
Which?
kind
Okay,
of
yeah.
kind of version of a West Coast IPA. It is a West Coast IPA. It's
Yeah, then I-
really
7%
fucking enjoyable.
alcohol.
I will
Smells
be very
nice.
disappointed if I don't like it.
This one is nasty. It's
This
really good.
Smells
Nasty
delicious.
good.
Oh
Nasty
my
good.
God.
Tastes
Yes.
delicious.
Oh,
Yeah.
can I look at that?
Yeah.
Or
They were
Have
here
you-
at Roosters. Were here at the beer and whiskey Swedish Beer and Whiskey Festival in Stockholm this year, the 30th anniversary, and we did an interview with those guys, and they actually made shirts especially for the Swedish festivals
Yeah.
with Roosters Brewing Company and a Swedish flag. So
Nice.
they printed shirts especially for that event.
Did you get one?
I did,
Dedicational.
yeah. I have one in my bag.
I'm gonna.
Nice.
It's a good fucking brewery.
I have 2 comments on Roosters Brewery
Mm.
or brewing. 1, this is fucking delicious.
Yeah.
2, never ever under any circumstances put yellow text on white background. That's evil. I can't fucking read this. I have no idea what I'm
That's
drinking.
because you're old.
Yes, partially because I'm old, but also because that's a dick move.
They don't want you to know what's in it. That's why.
They don't like boomers. That's it.
Is it even considered a dick move?
Probably.
Yes, the complete opposite though. Like yellow background, black text. That is
Works.
no, that is the best thing you can have. Contrast, but this is the worst contrast. It's
But
like
They
yeah.
never use it on the roads, actually.
Never
because of that
mind
reason.
about the label now.
Never
Just
mind it.
go
Hmm?
go on with the podcast. That me being grumpy and old.
Yeah, we got this
Boomer.
Roosters Brewing.
Do you know you have one thing
Yeah.
in common with everyone else, and that is a nipple.
Which you didn't hit. No, behave. We're on a podcast.
This is a serious podcast.
We're on a
Oh yes, we are on.
we're on a
serious podcast.
professional
I'm so
podcast.
How
Okay,
long? How
this-
long did Roosters decide on calling themselves Rooster, not Cock Brewing? I just wonder.
And there we went too far. So
No, that is just awesome.
oh Jesus fucking Christ. If you're on our Patreon right now, you're gonna hear the uncensored version of this episode, and I
What,
do
are you
apologize.
censoring shit?
No, we're not. We're cutting one Spotify version and then the Patreon version.
Oh, that's lame.
Lame.
I'm
Also, kind
pretty sure we're on the Patreon right now.
of probably. You never know. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe not.
Okay, back to
We'll
the
see.
beer then. This is
Back-
really,
yeah.
really
Yeah,
good.
really good IPA.
I mean, it's extremely full. Like,
Yeah.
it's packed with flavor. I have, like, we shared, since we have a couple of beers, we shared one can amongst the 4 of us. And this, I'm not sure I want to drink, like, the whole can. This is a lot of flavor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a perfect amount just to the fourth of a can.
It is delicious.
If you hadn't had like a couple of beers already, you probably wouldn't have the
Yeah,
whole
then I
can.
probably
Yeah.
would have. But okay,
As mentioned.
I don't know if this is because we had dinner earlier, but it feels like I have this film of like cream or sugar or something.
Yeah.
Why? Because
That could be the dry hopping. And the dry hopping leaves a lot of aromas in both flavor and nose. So that could be one thing. The maltiness, because this is a classic West Coast IPA, so you have a higher concentrate of the malt in it, so it's a bit sweeter.
yeah,
And that can leave a mouthfeel. And
Yeah, I
it's
can
very
taste that.
well made, so it's very
it is delicious.
It's a really good
well-rounded kind of West Coast IPA, so it's...
IPA. It might be the personally one of the best ones I've drank in a while. Actually, personally, one of the best ones.
Yeah,
drank in a while.
I'm.
Because it doesn't have like that, when there's a tons of flavors, but it's still like on a moderate level, that the flavors aren't too much that you would get bored of it in a while, because you would still like get individual flavors every time you take a sip.
Yeah,
That's what I like about it.
I would love to drink this 6 hours ago.
Yeah.
That would be lovely.
Before we were in this state.
Yeah.
But you had to stop with your own podcast, didn't you?
Yeah. Of course.
Really delicious.
No, this
though.
was really good.
What is your experience going out to beer bars? What do you expect? What are you looking for?
Well, I am extremely picky, and I'm not a beer expert in any means. But when I go to a bar, you can always like instantly feel the vibe if they are themselves interested in beer or if it's just an interest in selling
in
whatever
the atmosphere,
sells.
right?
Yeah. So you can go in. Like I love to go to London, and that is you can't find that here. I have never ever been to a pub in Sweden where you get that feeling like, yes, I want to be here for several hours. I've been to pubs where I like the atmosphere, but then there's like 3 beers and 2 hours later, let's go somewhere else. This is a beer you can buy in a pub in London because first off, there are thousands of them. All of them know their beer. All of them are interested in selling you something that you want to have, unless you're there in Friday night, but that's another story. And you can just sit, talk to people, whoever, and drink a perfect beer that you actually like because you got a recommendation.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there's something...
It's a rule I try to amplify in when I'm working. Is that if you sit in the bar, you're being social. Like that's the thing. If you sit in the bar alone, you're gonna end up talking with the bartender and a few people beside you because that's the rule.
That's the best thing I know.
Sitting in the bar is for people who don't know each other and also people that know each other. But like everybody's comfortable if they sit in the bar. That's like a main rule for hanging out in the bar, which is why I love working in a bar because I get to know everybody.
Yeah.
And when you sit on the table, you don't want the same connection, basically.
No, but
Hands in the bar, that's where you should get that.
that is like I would say the number one. Now I compare it with London since I brought it up, but that's like the number one difference between Sweden and well, basically abroad.
There are a few places in Sweden that does that, but they're mostly in the big cities.
Have you been to a bar in Sweden?
Yes.
To some.
I work at one.
I know that. The question wasn't. The question wasn't have you been to a bar. The question was have you been to a bar and talked to some random dude that you don't know, or a couple, or just sat down to next to a couple.
Yes.
And started talking.
Several times here in Stockholm.
Not in work.
Outside of work, yes.
Well, that is fucking impressive, but it never happened to me.
No.
I've tried it
Oliver
several times.
Twist in Stockholm, I sat with a dude for 3 hours talking about building a wine basement. Never met the guy before.
Every single time I go to London, it's like, I want to meet some people. Just go out, grab a beer, sit down, wherever.
As I say, there are a few places in Stockholm and Gothenburg, for example, you can do that. Beer bars specialize in more of the old pub feel. If you're in the bar, you're with the whole environment. There are a few of those places, but not that very common. But there are.
There is
so you have to come visit me in Stockholm.
Yes,
that's
really,
what I
really should do that. There's something weird in Swedish beer culture that I find both fascinating and extremely annoying.
Yeah.
Well, that's my 2 cents.
I really had a good time. I believe it was in spring when I visited Accurate when you were working. And I had a really nice time. It was a really special bar because you knew your beer and you actually socialized with your customers, as you said. But I don't think we really have that kind of thing here in Karlstad. What do you say?
I like
Charlestown.
It is Charlestown.
That's translated to Charlestown, yes.
But I think that's a whole, like, the whole culture thing around beer pubs and stuff in Sweden also. That we're all pretty, like, in Sweden we're pretty bad at, like...
communicating?
Yeah, communicating or, like, small talk.
Yeah.
that we don't like to have small conversation with random people. We only like to have conversation with people we know. I think that's like really deep in our culture, like Swedish people. We
And
don't
it's
like
so fucking tragic.
Yeah,
You can like go out and then you can sit down to some people and like, hey man, how's it going? Yeah, it's fine.
I can,
Been here long? Yeah.
speaking
And that's
from
about
from the beer perspective of that, that is very common in the beer scene, like hang out with people that drink beer and go to craft breweries places, and it's very social. It's very social. You don't have to know anybody. You can come alone to a festival and you'll hang around with 20 people.
You need to be an alcoholic to be approved.
No,
Okay.
you don't.
Yes, that's
Ethanol enthusiast.
Okay then.
No, you don't have to be, and that's basically the motto we have. It's the podcast is for the beer curious. Like you don't have to be an expert.
Yeah, like
the
I told
interest-
earlier on 200
yeah.
BPM, you
The
just be curious.
Interest in beer. Like if you want to actually find out where the flavors are from, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I used to do this line with. Since I started to become a sommelier before I started working with beer, the one difference I noticed, there's a lot of good sommeliers out there, but most of the young ones were very fucking cocky.
Yeah.
And they
like you weren't cocky when you were young?
Oh yeah, but they were worse than me. I can fucking
fuck
promise
no.
you.
Is that
Oh
possible?
yes, yeah, they were. Thanks for shouting me out on my podcast, being a terrible person, but yeah, no, but
then
like
you
these-
shouldn't have invited us. It's like-
No, basically, they insulted you to bits, like I did once. I know that. I can.
yes.
Yeah, insulted you to bits for not knowing things. Whilst in the beer culture, it's a lot more open to, I feel, opinions about beer, and
Oh,
nobody's sitting on you. Like
So basically, it's the complete opposite of the metal community, where it's all elitism.
yeah, exactly.
It feels a bit more individual, but depending on your taste buds.
Yeah,
Really individual.
but taste buds are individual.
Yeah.
Whatever it comes to.
Personal taste.
Yeah,
personal preferences.
the only person that knows it
Like
is
music.
Yeah, like music.
Yeah.
Is there any? I know there's a truth to it because it exists, but like acquired taste when it comes to you really don't like something the first time, and the more you drink it,
Could be, yeah.
But is that like? Do you always say that if you don't like something the first time, just give it a couple of times, or is that if you don't like it, you don't like it?
Depends on the person I'm talking to, but so both yes and no. Like if I notice that you are at least curious, try it again. But if you are, I want my Carlsberg half. Well,
Well, fuck you then.
I'm not gonna nag you to drink anything else. Like no. But if you have the interest, try it again and again. It's like sushi. I think it was the third time for me they did it.
Sushi?
Before I sort of like
yeah,
sushi.
same for me. Second or third time.
Smoke beer took me like 3 or 4 times before I started to.
Oh,
enjoy
that
it.
was the first for me.
Oh, it was.
Yeah. I
So
love
let's
that.
open it.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
let's open it. My God, that is delicious.
Good opening though. Really good IPA.
Yeah.
Really good IPA. Shout out.
So now we have
Oh God.
Ringebrau.
I remember this one.
Rauchsvars from Stigberget.
I love
and
your German pronunciation.
That's the one.
Yeah, we had that in our podcast a couple
Yes,
of
we did, and,
episodes ago, and
I visited that when I was on that beer festival in Karlstad for this spring.
Actually, that's one of the episodes. Fuck
Nice
man,
catch.
are you drunk?
Yes.
He's
spilled.
spilling beer all over the place. No, actually, that was one of the episodes that we got most comments about.
Yeah.
Like, because it was something completely different than what we did earlier, and it was really fun because it started with Algoth going alone to a beer festival, and you can hear him during. I cut it down to an hour, I think. And you can hear him just going drunker and more drunk and even more drunk.
The
That's
original
the beauty about beer
recording is like
festival.
3 hours.
Yeah.
But we shortened it down to 1 hour because there's a lot of just me walking around saying stupid things.
Yeah,
Because
so basically your goal was to find the ultimate festival beer.
And I did.
And
And
you
this
did.
was one of the candidates.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
this one, sadly,
I'm
was
gonna
out
take
for the
a
summer.
bit for you because you
Yeah.
take a whole lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So I believe it was Svartberget at the festival here, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yes.
And Stigberget was there because this
Oh,
is
as
a
well?
corporation. I
Yeah,
believe.
exactly. It's a
Yeah.
collab. So it's brewed at Stigberget and in collaboration with Svartberget. Svartberget is basically a kind of a young brewery 3-4 years old.
Svartberget
I
was the
think a
ones
bit
that
more.
won my festival beer actually, because
Yeah.
they had a beer during the summer, because this one got back in the stocks right in September, I believe.
Yeah, exactly.
So the festival was over, but this one was the winner actually.
It's a really nice.
The funny
Have you
story.
ever
I
had
just I just stand there at their booth at that beer festival, and I told them how much I liked it, and they just kept pouring me more and more. I didn't even need tickets because
Oh, that is
yeah,
crazy.
I just
that
praised
happens.
it. They were very nice actually.
This is. I remember the first time I tried it. I was at the course actually, like at work, and me and a colleague were
That's nice.
far from home, and we decided to go buy some beer, and then we went down to the water and just sat on the bridge, enjoying the sunset and the water, and we had St. Erik's Rauchbier when they the first time released it. I guess that's something like 2009 or something. And I remember instantly the first sip I got, it was like, okay, I'm at a campfire. I'm just enjoying life. And I got like calm inside. Everything about it. It was exactly what I wanted it to be. And this is...
Have all of you tried this before?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is my first time actually. I've never tried this.
Cheers
kind
then,
of
mate.
fucking
This
delicious.
is fucking amazing.
And this is, I'm 99.9% sure about this, that they're using smoked malts. So that's where you get that kind
Pretty
of a
much.
bacon kind of like smoked
Yeah,
pork feeling.
I have this taste that it kind of tastes like a what is
Cognac
the-
medvurst.
Yeah, I was gonna say ölkorv, but it's not the right
It's
word.
the same.
But you know what I mean.
Yes, I
Eldorados
know.
cognac medvurst. Yeah, and it does get that smoke kind of meaty
God,
flavor.
it's so fucking
Yeah.
delicious.
For my first time trying this, it feels like almost like the wild snacks and everything like that.
Yeah.
It tastes a bit wild, but it also tastes smoky, and it has like all the kind of spices and things.
It has game all over it. For
Yeah.
sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's really tasty, and it's almost mind blowing actually, because I'm trying to feel all the tastes.
Yeah.
Tastes.
I mean,
Or
like,
like-
if you're drinking this, in my mind, I'm like in the middle of the forest, sitting on a cut down log, and just it's
Start
silent.
drinking
I
it.
can drinking
Drink
this
the log.
and just enjoying nature.
It feels like a hot dog that's been grilled over a campfire.
Yeah.
It has the exactly same taste.
The
in a good way.
ölkorv
In a good way.
experience.
In a good
Yeah,
way. In a good
okay,
way.
but with the hot dog and ölkorv, minus the
Yeah,
meat.
Yeah, but
exactly.
it just
But
have the
that-
flavor of the
yeah.
campfire. It
Yeah.
just basically has the flavor of the campfire.
There you have your difference, because a Rauchbier comes from often in the form of medicine, which is more like a amber type of lager, so it has a lot more salami flavors to it.
Really?
Yeah, and this is a Svars, so it's a Svarsbier,
Yeah,
which is more.
I love the Schwarz.
Well, the malts are roasted darker, so you use black malt to darken the beer and have a bit more bitter coffee tones to it as well. So it's a combination with the Rauch and Svarsbier, which I find to be a perfect combination.
Yeah, it is.
Definitely.
This is one of my favorite beers.
Sure do.
actually.
This one you can buy in Sweden.
And it's
You
also
can, like,
it's
order.
also
You can
only
buy it.
4.5%. This is one of those, as we call it, quenchable fucking beers. You can drink many of them, and
Yeah.
you're not gonna fall off your stool.
Or you can just enjoy one and still don't have to feel like anything.
We talk about quenchable, so that's
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
it's a term that
I'm
is
not gonna.
important.
That's why we
Can you
have
drink lots of them and still be standing? Yes, you can.
Yes,
Good
you
beer.
can, but this is like one that is delicious.
That's
And
what,
I'm not, unless I'm at a festival, I'm not drinking a lot of beer. I'm drinking one or maybe two, and that kind of is. But yeah, I mean, this is one really good beer.
Personally, for me, I wouldn't like drink maybe more than one, because I would have grown tired of the taste.
Yeah, it's a bit much.
Yeah, it's a bit much personally for me, but I would definitely buy like one or two, and maybe drink one to start the night with. Drink a couple of popular beers here in Sweden.
You can't do that. You can't start with this and go back to lager.
Yeah, but because this raises the bar of good taste
No.
in beer.
Okay, this is, you're in the beginning of your beer journey.
Yeah, I'm pretty young still, so
Yeah.
yeah.
you're
So-
a virgin.
You are you're going to experience this. I know what you're saying, and it's a very good intention, but
Yeah.
it doesn't work in real life
No.
because everything you will buy to drink after this will taste like shit, no matter if it's like
But that's-
perfect
I don't.
beer.
I don't think it will taste like shit. It would not taste
At
anything at
all.
all because
No,
this
it's
is such strong.
Close to fucking water, like you said.
But the thing is, then it would be more like it would be more of a surprise or like a gift to yourself, because if you buy like a bag of beer, and you just buy 2 of those, you drink 1 of those just to start off the evening. You drink 4 or 5 like Swedish regular beers. I don't know which one, personal taste, and you take 1 of those. It will
But-
uplift the taste buds a bit more.
Yeah,
It's like
but
a
not,
smoke
not,
breed
not
taste,
really,
isn't it?
because not like we're doing now is that I've chosen these beers after flavor. So we did the IPA first,
Yeah.
because it has a lot more bitterness.
Yeah.
I knew that the smokiness of this one would cut that off, so you go from lowest to highest.
There's a strategy
build.
behind this
Yeah,
as well.
yeah,
As we talked about it, like if you start off with the Imperial Stout and then go for the lager last, the lager is gonna taste like fucking nothing because it's
Yeah.
you've destroyed your palate. With
I think we
all
did
these
wrong in
flavors.
our
pretty-
episode then.
It's
Yes,
pretty,
we
Yes, we did.
Yeah, but that's okay. We had fun.
it's pretty fascinating how it works with like taste buds and everything like that in
Yeah, it's-
theoretic and
I do honestly believe that people overcomplicate the taste buds in one way because everybody's so nervous about what they're gonna say, what flavors do I actually feel.
smoking.
But it's not that. You don't need to like go that far. Simplify it to what flavors do I actually enjoy.
Yeah.
Very simple: sweet, sour, salt, spiciness, whatever it is.
Candy.
Break it, yeah.
Cocaine.
Break it down to those, and then go for like what kind of fruits do I like? Do I like blackberries, or do I like pineapple, or do I like apples, or like bananas? Decide for the things you like, and then feel the flavors of the beer and try to find those flavor profiles, and that's when you know what kind of styles of beer. When people are like, do you know all the IPAs? No, I don't, but I know IPA. I know the style, I know the subgenres, so I can kind of easily navigate myself through the IPAs, even though if I haven't tried it before or been.
Yeah, because it doesn't feel like that the IPAs that has that big of a like flavor category, would you say, like catalog, if you know what I mean, that it doesn't include that much of a like ratio of flavors. Do you know what I mean? That they would go like citrus or strawberry, you know, like go wild, or am I totally out of the wrong here? That it would totally flip out.
For
But-
me, not
really-
knowing anything, I would say that I know what you mean, but
Yeah,
you're
but-
still totally wrong.
Yeah.
I don't really understand the question, but yeah, I mean, if you know what you like, flavor-wise,
Yeah, but I'm if I, as someone who's like, yeah, I like berries, but I don't know what kind of berries I like. What kind of I'm like, yeah, I like berries
Dingleberries.
and IPAs. But
yeah,
what
I
kind
would
of
ask you,
IPAs
do you
and
like
berries?
sour or do you like non-sours? And if you said either of those things, I know which direction to go.
Yeah,
So it's basically connecting your flavor buds to find what kind of beer would fit you.
yeah,
And that's the thing that at least I work with a lot, is that I want to find people's palates.
Yeah.
If they don't know it themselves.
I mean, one thing that also got, how to say, it got to my attention like 10 years ago maybe. I'm the kind of guy, when I go into a store, no matter what store, I don't ask the staff, because I just want to look around. I want to find whatever I like. But when you're looking at shirts or jeans or shoes, you can look and you can touch, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But when you're at like the Swedish Systembolaget, you can look, but you can't
Taste.
smell or taste. So then you honestly don't know. So what I found, this is kind of not embarrassing, but it was like I should have known this way better. The staff at Systembolaget is amazing.
Yes,
like
they are.
if you actually want to, if you do know, like okay, I had this Rauchbier, I really liked it. It had the flavor profile that I liked. Go to one of the staffs, they have a beer expert. Talk to him or her, and just say, I had this Rauchbier. It had the flavor profile. It was bitter. It was rounded. It was nice. It was very smoky. I got the feeling that I was at a campfire on a summer night. They will understand you, and they will get you either the exact same thing or something similar. They are excellent, and I've started to use that a lot.
That's good. And you mentioned earlier about when we did another podcast about countries, like going
Oh,
to
yeah.
the countries. I would rather say go for the brewery. Like if you have one beer from a brewery that you really fucking enjoy, have another of their beers. Because
that's why we're always going to Temple.
Yeah, because if a brewery does one good beer, they could probably do another one that's really good. And if you try the next batch and it's still as good, you found something. A brewery that is consistent in flavor and has a wide range of different kinds of beers.
Yeah.
So I would totally go for the brewery a bit more and discover the breweries. Like, okay, I really enjoyed this brewery. How many kinds of beer do they have? What do they do? Is there something that interests me? And just go through the range, and then move on to the next brewery. Basically.
It's almost like music. I feel like, because if you like a kind of band, you personally for me, if I hear one song, I'm liking this. And then I will deep dive into their album. Is it almost like the same with breweries and stuff? Like if you like one beer, you maybe want to try different breweries.
Yeah, then you stay.
That is perfect.
You stay
analogy.
true.
Yeah.
I mean, like Oppigårds, which is Sweden's biggest craft beer brewery.
And a really good one.
Yeah.
A really fucking good
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
We were there like 2 months ago visiting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was super cool. But that's a brewery that, I mean, they've done the winter ale for 19 years now, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And it's still
Excellent every year.
fucking delicious. Like, it's one of the best winter ales I've ever had. But I go back to that one, and a lot of people do, because it's comfort. You know the beer, and it's the same every fucking year.
Do you want to hear something
Consistent.
When I'm a really big IPA fan, personally. When I had my first IPA, I was at Sweden Rock, and I had Oppigårds Amarillo,
Oh, nice.
and that was the first IPA I ever had, and I was sold after that. Was that like a good first IPA to
Yeah,
try?
it really was.
Yeah.
That's a nice IPA.
Yeah.
Single hopped pale ale.
Yeah,
Amarillo.
really good IPA to really start off your IPA journey. Personally, I really like it.
You said Oppigårds Amarillo.
Yeah.
I believe Oppigårds
Single
Norn,
hopped pale ale.
right? You remember? I believe you have one of those right there. Oppigård Norn,
Oh, yeah.
a really good one.
That's really good as well.
And the other one, the stronger one, Utah.
Utah, the double IPA.
Yeah,
Really good.
really nice as well. But a little too strong
Look
for
at
me,
you
actually.
opening with a snusdosa.
Hashtag
Snaus.
Värmland.
How do you say in English snusdosa?
Snusdosa.
Snuff box.
Snusdose.
Snusdose? Snuff dose?
I would say snusdosa.
I'm not gonna spill all over the table
No,
now.
please, it's expensive drops.
Hey, but hey, I want something also.
Yeah.
Come on now.
I'm being reservative.
I kind of want to rinse.
And
this.
now,
I'm gonna-
yeah, we haven't rinsed our glasses really, but it doesn't matter.
No, but it's like
the ones we're having right now is gonna kill those
Oh,
flavors a
the
little bit as well.
okay.
I do believe this is the case on bottle as well, because it has the same ABV and it's the same picture and everything, so it should be the one that we had on keg a few weeks ago at Akkurat. So yeah, this
Let's
is
see.
the Västra Ämterviks Bryggeri. Västra Ämterviks
Also-
Bryggeri.
Also
Porter.
very, very
Freaking
good
porter.
brewery.
Really fucking good
I
brewery.
haven't. Yeah, so far I haven't been trying anything of theirs that's boring.
They use a lot of wheat, oat, to and burn it, like the roast it pretty hard to get those kind of caramelized, intense flavors in the beer. And this is, it doesn't say so on the bottle, but according to Christian, this is a bit bourbon barrel aged as well. So it's on a 6.5% ABV. It's a porter, so a bit mixing between sweet and dry.
Strong taste. Smell, I believe.
Yeah, and as I said, we had it on keg. And,
Really strong smell.
this was effing delicious. So Christian,
But it smells really good
Skål.
though.
I mean,
Score.
if they have, yeah, cheers.
yeah,
Mm.
it's the same one.
Delicious.
Yeah.
I can really taste their roasted oat.
Yeah,
I mean, if they have a poem on the label, and it's a really nice poem, that
You know,
that says a lot.
no,
I mean,
it
that's
doesn't.
not for
you
everyone.
You know, Bellman has a poem on those cans as well.
What?
Bellman, the lager,
No.
the alcoholic.
Yeah, but they just nicked that from Bellman, I guess.
Yeah, but they nicked this from what
Yeah,
is
but
called
that is about Sunne.
Gustav Fryding.
That's your hometown, by the way.
it's my hometown. That's true. It is.
Really good beer.
Yeah, and a
this
really,
is really good.
really good brewery as
I mean,
well.
yeah,
It's,
Porter for me is delicious and it's amazing, but I can never drink more than 10 milliliters or so. Centiliters, I mean.
Why?
I don't know. It's something about the flavor. It's too much. It's like when you have a really delicious, amazing roast dinner, but it's just too much flavor. You eat
I've never
and then
had
you
that
feel like,
with
oh,
porters and stouts.
God.
I can drink a lot of it.
I gotta say,
I don't know why. Maybe it's wrong with me.
It's always something about porter. I really
understand
enjoy
what you're
it.
saying, but with stout, I have the same problem with stout.
Yeah,
Then
porter
again-
and stout, I would say.
Yeah.
Some exceptions, but this is like
It's
I granted this is
The,
one
the,
fucking
ne- the
amazing
next
porter.
one is worse. Comes to flavor, I can tell you.
I gotta
Okay.
say, so far, all of these three we have tried so far, and I believe the fourth one as well, is
really delicious.
they're really delicious, but they're also kind of like one beer evenings, you know. Because I usually have those, you know, you have a long week from Monday to Friday. You work, you study for me, and the days are long. And at Friday evening, you don't have that much energy to do such much things. But maybe a nice movie, just sitting in the couch and just relaxing and having that one beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, all these are one beer quality types of beers.
Yeah, exactly. Because you don't need anything more that evening for me.
No, of course. In my world, it is both. I mean, I can have maybe not the last one. Maybe I would only have one at the end of the night. I would probably share this with somebody.
I'm very
Which we're gonna do now.
I'm very curious about the last one because you gave me that one in the wedding present.
Yeah, I did.
a couple of months ago.
And
I haven't
this
tried it
is,
yet, but we're gonna go to that.
So this is from
Let's see.
Origin, I think. Origin, yeah. What's to say? Yeah.
I don't
Origin,
know.
yeah.
Okay.
Origin, the Shoots. So this beer is called The Abyss. And
Yep.
this is one of the beers that are ranked 100 out of 100 at Rate Beer
Oh,
and Beer
I'm intrigued.
Advocate.
That-
But we haven't
it's-
opened that yet, so you're getting ahead of yourself.
No,
But
I'm talking
just
about
to be,
this one.
To be,
it needs a lot of introduction.
yeah, but just to be a bit comparative, we had a beer tasting when you were having your bachelor party out,
Yep.
and there was one coffee stout, which was amazing. Everybody loved it, but everybody was like, "This is fucking amazing," but I can't drink it. It's like
I think I
4
did a-
sips, and then it was too much.
Yeah, I
Moist
believe I
cake,
did.
Stouten.
Yeah, I did mud cake stout from
Oh yeah,
Pollo,
that
I
one,
think.
yes.
And that's a pastry stout, and those are much more intense than the one we're gonna have right now.
Okay,
it's a
so
different
it's
kind of.
Different
this
kind
is not
and
pastry.
not as like explosion.
No.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's explosion, but it's not pastry.
Okay.
So we can talk a little about the difference between porter stout and pastry, and imperial stout.
I gotta
Okay,
re-
but I have a basic question though.
Yeah.
What is the main difference between stout and porter?
That's exactly what we're gonna talk about.
Okay, perfect.
Let me see if I get this straight now.
Just make some shit up. I always
not
do that.
really, because this is something that is talked about a lot. For me, like a stout, I think about a British like fully chocolate, full-bodied stout, like Cocoa Wonderland from Thornbridge, or if you talk about Guinness Scotch, the Irish dry cream stout,
Yeah, I don't like
you have
Guinness.
a lot more.
Yeah, I know.
That's on you.
I know,
but-
but it's a fucking bad beer.
But you have for stout for me is more of the. It can be much drier and creamier and like full bodied, whilst the porter can have the more intense sweetness. But history back then and now is very different because you don't really exactly know the difference. So basically, for a brewery, you can name it stout or porter or whatever you want.
What? So
but-
there's like
They're very
you can't
close.
really go to the name of it.
No, not today. I would say they're very close by as a style, but I feel like porter can be a bit more on the sweeter side overall, and the stout a bit more dry, but that has that more full-bodied feeling to it, whilst the porter
I
are
have
more
drank
coffee.
very little of both actually, but for me it's like
it's a difficult style.
okay, this is gonna hurt, but my definition of porter is when I make porter steak, and I buy that shitty brown label.
It's not a shitty porter. It's a fucking fantastic porter, the Carnegie Porter.
I mean, it's not good.
It's really good.
Okay, whatever. I make dinner out of it. That is my preference, and I think that's pretty bitter.
Yeah, it has the like a dry coffee roasted tones to it. That's what I mean. The styles are very mixed up in one way. But the different, like with pastry, you add all these. You can add chocolate, marshmallows. They add actual sweet things to it. It melts with the beer.
I mean, I've had, like we talked about in the previous episode on 280 BPM, Temple had a Perdition, and I fucking love it. Their raspberry and the orange stout is amazing, and that is easy to drink. I never feel like, oh, this is overpowering, I can't handle this. But you also said that's way too much carbonation for you. No?
You mean the sourness in a beer? Or what?
No, like the bubbles.
Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of too much carbon dioxide, no.
No. But I get that is kind of what makes it easier for me to drink. But is that something unusual for...
No, I mean, carbon dioxide hides flavor as much as cold does. So when you take the carbon dioxide out of the equation, you're going to feel much more flavors.
All right, okay.
Because it hides it inside the bubbles.
So that's where you like the small bubbles, so to speak.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, which I feel is flat.
I believe it's time, Rasmus.
It's time. Get to the chopper.
It's the time. Oh,
I read.
it looks like syrup.
So this is we're talking about barrel aged imperial stouts.
The blackest of the black.
So this is not pastry at all. Pastry usually means that you add candy or and other things like that to enhance flavors, and you get a lot more sweetness. But there you don't really add anything. You use the malts.
It looks like you're pouring soy into our glasses. Actually.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
that smells
And
delicious.
then they age it in a barrel. I think this is.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's
I
creamy.
think that's bourbon. I'm not sure. Could be
Do
bourbon.
you want to hear something funny? I read on the...
Definitely not.
Is it called etiquette in English? What?
Depends if you mean etiquette.
Yeah, like on the label.
No,
the label. The label.
Etiquette
yeah.
is what, like, fancy dinner stuff.
Yeah. But on the label, it said that the brewery is from Bend, Oregon. Do you know what also is in Bend, Oregon?
No.
The world's last blockbuster ever.
Oh, that's
It's
cool.
it's in Bend, Oregon.
They started making stouts instead.
Remove
Okay,
the blockbuster, more stuff.
So this is one of the highest rated stouts in the world right now.
In the world?
I can smell this for an
In the
hour.
world. 100 of 100.
100 of 100.
Right. Cheers.
Cheers.
It smells really good.
Oh god.
That's an imperial
a taste
fucking stout.
experience. I
Okay,
kind of understand why this was a gift.
Yeah, what you said before.
And
that
you can save this for 10 years and it'll still be fucking amazing as long as you keep
what-
it right.
I'm
What-
not gonna
what you
save
said-
it for 10 years. I'm gonna drink it in a couple of
What
months.
you said before, that you're gonna share this with at least one other person, or up to 4.
mean-
I have in my, I have whiskey glass, and it's maybe 2 centimeters of content, and that is well enough for me. This
When
is so fucking
When
good.
I drink these kinds of beer by myself, I usually drink these for like 3 hours.
Yeah, of course.
I take them cold out of the fridge, I pour it up, smell it, I taste it, and then I keep going like that for like 3 hours because you can when the temperature shifts, the flavor and the nose of the beer switches as well.
Yeah, but
so
this is 11%, so it should be served at
Yeah.
like 13 something.
You should keep the percent and the temperature about the same, so 11, 12, 13%.
Oh, I learned like two.
But I
degrees
like
more
to
than
try
the-
it from like 4 degrees to 18, 20 degrees, just to, like feel the stout the entire way, because this is a beer that can handle it.
Yeah.
Put it in the microwave.
No.
I understand what you say about drinking one for 3 hours, because this one is one you want to go slow on.
Yeah.
This isn't one you just gulp.
And I want to feel the entire process. So don't fucking chug this.
No, it's
Enjoy
really,
this.
It's really.
Go back to it during like an hour now and just feel it because
I remember-
he's gonna change.
It's kind of disrespectful to chug an 11.
I have a
11%
funny
beer.
anecdote about chugging something like this. When I was like 8 years old, we were on a ski. 8.
Oh.
Yeah, we were on a ski semester with the family, and long day. We had been long distance skiing, and after like the dinner, and we sit like in the lobby at the bar. My father ordered one of those 20-year-old whiskeys. He thought, I'm gonna enjoy this one. And me, 8 years old, just thought, can I have a taste? And before he answers, I took the glass and like gulp it.
Oh, you shared it? All
Yeah.
of it.
And I couldn't taste anything because it for me it tasted awful. I couldn't taste anything of it. But the look on my father, you know, what did you just do?
I think you paid like 180 crowns for that or something. And you just...
Fucking kids.
Yeah,
man.
we were in Norway as well, so it wasn't.
Did he make you puke? Like to put 2 fingers in your
No, he
throat?
was just shocked.
And then put out a
Put out my whiskey, you goddamn son!
I don't think he would drink it if I had vomited out.
It's still money.
Maybe,
you know.
maybe.
Filter.
But I feel that we are closing in for our
Yeah,
episode
that was
today.
one of my funny anecdotes.
That's a good anecdote to close out with. But in this podcast, there's a rule, there's a question that is the hardest question you're about to get in your lives, basically.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do one of each. We're gonna start off with Lude because for fun.
I'm the youngest.
You can
one.
think about it
Yeah.
while he answers. You're about to die right fucking now.
Yeah.
You can have one last drink in the world. What are you having?
Hembränt.
Not homemade booze, but
One less
anything,
beer.
anything,
One less
anything.
beer.
yeah, one less beer.
Anything you
Oh
want
my
that
God.
you've ever
Okay,
had.
Yeah, I know. Okay, are you ready for this? It's gonna go full circle now. Oppegårds Amarillo. That's the last one I would drink.
Good
it will
answer.
go full circle. It will
Yeah.
go full circle.
Good.
Because that's the first festival IPA or beer I ever tried. And it got me hooked at the first time. It got me hooked. And I love it. I
It's a
still
good
love
fucking
it.
beer.
Yeah, I
I
love it still.
would have guessed you would say Kung.
No.
Kung.
Kung.
Yeah, King.
Yeah.
Kung.
Algot, die right now. Last beer.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you the same answer as when you last guessed the 280 ppm. The one and only bitter and cranked. One
Bitter and Kränkt.
final to go.
And what is bitter and kränkt for those who don't speak Swedish or know the
it's,
Swedish culture?
It's
Bitter and
it's a s-
Offended.
offended,
it's
yeah.
bitter and offended. It's English bitter brewed in Sweden, and it's based on a cartoon character.
Herman Hedning.
With the old man.
Is
that
it
series.
Närke that does that one? No.
Strömhults, I want to say.
Strömhults, yeah. Ström.
I believe
Yeah,
Strömhults.
something like that. Yeah.
Ah,
I
it's
don't
something
remember right
strong.
now.
It's
But
delicious.
that.
it's a really good beer.
Yeah.
And it says on the bottle, we offend every brewing like for 3 hours to make it as bitter as possible. It's very funny.
Anders, die, beer.
Now I'm gonna bend the space-time continuum a bit.
Budweiser.
No,
Red Stripe.
I would crave the feeling that I had the first time. I need to explain this a bit. I think they made the Omnipollo Nebuchadnezzar like the first batch, and then it wasn't on the Systembolag. You couldn't buy it. It was like on tap only for a year. And I was at a really good beer pub in Linköping, and I had Omnipollo's Nebuchadnezzar, and it was like a religious experience. Because this was 6 years before it started selling at the Systembolag. So I was like, this is the most amazing beer I've ever had in my life. And I craved it, I wanted to buy it, and I couldn't buy it because they ended. They didn't make it anymore. Then it took 6 fucking years before it got into the Systembolag. And then I bought it, and it was like, yeah, it's still a really good beer, but my taste bud had moved on and tried other thing. They found Belgium, but for real. But yeah, that feeling, like drinking the most magical beer you've ever drunken in your life. That's what I want to experience that.
You want the feeling back?
Yeah,
If
I want
I
the feeling
ask
back
you,
before I
Rasmus,
die.
Have you ever gotten that question back?
No, because I'm the host. I don't get
Yeah,
the
but
question.
we're
What's,
gonna
what's
ask-
your
Ah,
answer?
God
What's your
damn
answer?
it.
What's your answer?
You don't get to ask him.
No, you
ask
don't.
him.
At the moment, I would go for the last beer I had that fucking blew my mind, and that's Valsviken Winter Porter from Nynäshamns Bryggeri. Cask conditioned, stored since 2019. We put on cask last night in the time we're speaking right now, because as you heard this episode is a couple of weeks ago. 9.1% porter, and cask, as we talked about earlier today, very fresh, ferments on the spot. That was just fucking amazing.
Is it the best one you've had in years?
This year, yes, that's the best one I've had.
But like overall, not like just. This year.
No, depends on my mood. Like, it's one of the best. I don't like ranking like 1 to 2 to 3. It's in the top of the beers I've had in my life. It certainly have one of the
It was
WTF moments for me.
Yeah, fair enough. So
I
that
don't
would
have
be
them
like
that
the
often
final beer you would
anymore,
have.
but
That
that
would
was
be like
one.
the final one. Yeah.
One
Yep.
follow-up question. What was the first beer you ever had?
The first beer I ever had, I don't exactly remember the brand, but I was 10, I think, 9 or 10. My dad fell asleep on the couch, and I woke up that morning and found him on the couch sleeping, and I think it was like a Pripps Blå or some other
Norrlands
disgusting
Guld.
beer. That's
That's
been
more about your father than anything else.
that's been open like the whole night because he fell asleep on the couch.
Oh no!
So I drank it in the morning. I
And still
drank
you're
it.
here.
And that's, I think, and I
Wow.
didn't drink beer for like another 5 years after that. It was disgusting.
A flaccid, warm Pripps Blå.
But I remember Sofiru was one of the first beers I actually parted with, and I can't drink that yet to this day.
No, but that's
Disgusting.
because
Have you ever?
it's not a good beer.
Yeah, probably, and doesn't add up, or doesn't do any better because we fried food with it, but we fried in butter.
I don't remember exactly my first beer, but Danish Gold was one of the teenage
yeah.
party
That's bad.
goers. That's a terrible one, though.
Yeah, I really loved Lappinkulta. Like, I drank that for 4 years.
The Finnish
And now
one?
I can't drink it. It's impossible. It's
can't.
like, that is not beer.
We
But
should
it's-
have that as the drink of the day in 280 BPM. Danish
Yeah, we
Gold
should.
and Lappinkulta, just to
Yes,
be nostalgic and disgusted.
Or, yeah, oh my god.
Should I go with my first beer I ever tried?
Yes,
Definitely.
5.2.
Of course.
5,1.
That because I
På
live
svenska
in the
monopolet.
far northern of Hotland.
All right, we're gonna wrap this up now because
Yeah, I believe
all of
so.
us are getting a
Yeah,
bit
we-
tipsy
yeah,
and drunk,
yeah.
and we need to
all
go
things
back to
between.
our.
What do you mean getting?
We're all ready.
Yeah, what's to start with?
But thank you so much.
Thank-
Really good IPA and everything else.
Thank you so much for the experience.
But personally,
thank
for
you.
me, the
I'm
IPA
gonna-
was the best one. Personally, Ludwig. Personally,
Yeah,
IPA.
I'm gonna go with the Abyss.
Yeah,
Like, this
because of
is-
the name.
Yeah, but
Fucking
it's also
delicious.
fucking delicious.
Yeah,
I'm gonna experience
there's still
this.
some at your local Bolaget here in Karlstad, so go and get them.
You don't
Yeah.
say.
I say.
and I will.
But let's end that episode, or this episode right now, with whatever you do, guys, drink better beer. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed this chaotic episode. We also do wonder if there's any subjects you want us to talk about. Please do send us a message on Instagram or Facebook, and don't forget to check out our Patreon. There you will have a chance to win a lot of cool merchandise from a lot of cool breweries. So check that out. And a last thank you to Anders and Algoth and their awesome podcast 280 BPM. If you do enjoy the metal genre, please check them out. If you don't, check them out, give them a thumbs up, and just tell them that you came from Beer Bubbles. And whatever you do, drink better beer.